One of the main things we wanted to talk about today, though, was about VSC accessories, because as a sales manager, one of the things I have to deal with every day is when our distributors and customers say to me, give me a price for a VSC. And the first thing I say is, well, what accessories do you actually want with that VSC? Because that is going to have a big effect on the price. So we wanted to take some time today to look at and review the different VSC accessories that are available to buy. Now, the VSC accessories basically come under two categories. They come under, or three categories. They come under hardware, they come under software, and they also come under calibration as well. And not all accessories are applicable to every model, but some of them are. Some of the accessories are also included as standard with some of the machines. So for example, items like the OVI viewer, which is here, which is a mirrored device which we use alongside the document to look at and visualize optically variable inks. That will come as standard with many of the VSCs. Document weights to hold down a document, these will actually be standard on many of the machines as well. And the microspectrometer, as I mentioned, is standard on the VSC 8000HS, and a more simplified version is available as an option on the VSC 800 and 80 and 80i models. So apart from the standard accessories, there are, as you can see, a very wide range of other accessories that are available to go with the VSC models. Now, some of the accessories will be applicable for passport and ID examination, such as the e-chip readers, the webcam kit for facial recognition, the thermochroic ink viewer, polarized light viewer, databases, Assure ID, facial recognition, IPI, Letterscreen Plus. These are all suitable for passport and ID card examination. And we'll look at each one of these in a little bit more detail. First of all, it's important to talk about the databases, because perhaps there's a lot of misunderstanding about those. So we offer two different types of databases. We offer a database for travel documents that includes generally passports and identification cards. And then we also offer a database for banknotes from around the world. Now, when we sell the databases, there are two parts that we sell. The first thing we sell is the archive, and the archive is the database as it is today. It's the most up-to-date database, if you like. And if you purchase the archive, that will continue to work forever. However, you won't get any updates. So as new documents or banknotes are introduced, if you want to keep up to date, then you also need our subscription service. The subscription service gives you 6 updates per year. Now, the updates have to be downloaded and then installed onto the VSC machine. So you can start with an archive, and then as long as you keep your subscription up to date, your database will be getting constant updates and you will always be up to date. The alternative to this for some customers is simply to purchase a new archive every year or every 2 years. The disadvantage with this is that there will be gaps in the database. There will be periods of time where you do not have the most up-to-date information. Now, for many customers, that will not be acceptable, and this is why you would normally want the archive and then the subscription service. And remember, the subscription service is valid for 1 year. So if you wanted to buy the archive, start with the archive, and then have a 3-year subscription service, you would buy 3 of the subscription services along with the archive. And of course, there are 2 archives and 2 lots of subscriptions, one for the banknotes and one for the ID documents. A relatively new software feature we offer is something called Assure ID. Now, this is an automated system. For many of our customers, they've requested us to come up with an automated system for looking at documents. So we've worked with a partner company to offer you a solution to be able to do that. The Assure ID is a software, a piece of software that is used on the VSC, and basically you capture images from the VSC, normally in a white, UV and infrared image. This gets loaded into the Assure ID software. The images are then uploaded over the internet to a central server, and basically you get a report back where the images are subjected to about 50 forensic and biometric tests with a simple pass or fail for each one presented on screen. This gives you a pretty much instant and secure way of automatically validating the documents. The Assure ID, as I said, is a software function, and when you buy a license for it, it works for 5 years. So it's a 5-year license. It does not require an automated, a database update as such. It does require monthly updates, which are downloaded onto your computer, and your computer must be connected to the internet. If your computer is not connected, or your VSC is not connected to the internet, the Assure ID software cannot work. The Assure ID is also backwardly compatible. So if you have an older VSC, the Assure ID will work with that as well. Another software and hardware possibility is facial recognition. So the facial recognition systems come in two parts. They come as a software item and they come as a hardware item. Now the hardware item is basically a camera system to capture the facial features of the person, maybe in front of the VSC, and also a ring light type illumination system to illuminate the face. The second part of the system is actually the software. We work with Gemalto, which is one of the most highly regarded facial recognition companies in the world today. And basically using the facial recognition, it allows you to compare a real person against their passport picture or against the e-chip picture, or even comparing it to images that may be taken from another document or even social media. The facial recognition software within the VSC will then compare and contrast up to 5 different images and give you a highly detailed report as a PDF. The facial recognition will give you a pass or fail against the United Nations thresholds, but there is also, or NIST threshold, but there is also another threshold or match criteria that you can set independently, and the user can determine if they want a less stringent or more stringent identification threshold. Another accessory that doesn't come as standard with the VSCs is our e-readers or RFID readers. And there is a range of 5 different e-readers of varying levels of functionality that are available. One of the most common that we sell is this one here, which is the e-reader 1A. I personally find this to be very, very reliable, very easy to use, and it's perhaps our most popular choice of e-reader. There are e-readers that are less expensive and there are e-readers that are more expensive, but in terms of the price-performance ratio, we find this a very, very good solution for perhaps 90% of our customers. The e-chip reader just connects to the VSC using a USB connector. So one of the USB connectors is actually to power the unit, and another USB connector is there to actually transfer the data from the e-chips. If the e-chip reader is not purchased initially, they can easily be added to an existing VSC or an older VSC at any time. We also offer 2 different data decoders, which are known as LetterScreen Plus and IPI. And these are basically software routines that are used to decode hidden information, typically within passports. Now, these can be simply licensed from ourselves, so if they are not purchased initially and a customer with a VSC wants to add these, then we can simply receive a purchase order and give you a license code to activate them within the VSC suite software. Now these are normally used for passport identification only, so they'll be more applicable to our immigration based customers. Not all passports have this type of hidden information, but quite a few of them do. And these two types of technology are licensed from Jura in the case of the Letterscreen Plus, and they are licensed from Graphic Security Systems Corp in the case of the IPI or ICI decoder information. Another new product we've just released is actually our Active Thermochroic Revealer, or ATR, which I have here. And this is a new accessory for the VSC that enables us to look at banknotes and travel documents that contain a thermochroic ink. So what is a thermochroic ink? Well, basically a thermochroic ink is an ink that changes in relation to heat. So basically with this type of accessory, we actually put something such as a passport page into here, we close it down. The unit is both powered and controlled by a USB connection within the VSC software, and basically we can alter the heat in here to heat the document between generally sort of ambient and up to 85 degrees centigrade with a 1 degree set point change, and basically the inks will change colour as the documents get heated. So this is a new product that we're offering that can be added to a wide range of VSC equipment. Now there are also accessories that are particularly applicable to banknote examination. These would include the document tilt plate, magnetic ink viewer, quartz plate, OVI viewer, and of course the Keysync database using the banknotes themselves. So let's have a look at a few of these. So one of the first things here is the document tilt plate. Now the document tilt plate can actually allow us to put a document onto here. There are various clips to hold it in place. The plate also has a gel type surface that will give you a friction to be able to hold smaller items such as an ID card without the clips. And this tilt plate can be used in two modes. It can be used this way to give us a small amount of tilt around the central axis, or it can be removed, put in a different way like this, and now that gives us up to a 90-degree motion. Now the reason for this is that some items such as identification cards may have actually information that is written on the edge of the card, or you might want to look at the edge of the card, ID card itself, to be able to look at the structure, look at the different laminates within the card structure. And so this enables you to do that. We can put the card there, hold it vertically, and examine the edge of the ID document. The next device is what we call the MSFI2, or Magnetic Security Feature Imager. And that's what we have here. So the MSFI basically enables us to look at magnetic and visualize magnetic inks. So the device here is powered by a USB connector, and some of the more recent VSCs such as the VSC 8000HS actually have a USB connector within the inside of the machine that you can connect this to. The device itself is put over magnetic ink, and using the VSC camera we view through the window there. We can also adjust the cross polarizer to give us an enhanced contrast, and we are then able to capture images visualizing the magnetic ink. Again, this is a device that is backwardly compatible, so even if you've got a much older VSC, it may be possible that you can purchase the MSFI to upgrade your older VSC to give you the ability to visualize magnetic inks. We also offer a quartz glass plate. Now the quartz glass plate that you see here is very, very expensive, and that's because it's quartz glass. You cannot use normal glass to hold down a document. So if we're examining something like a passport, we can actually use the Q plate to flatten the document down. And the reason why it's quartz glass as opposed to normal glass is that normal glass will actually block the UV. So if we want to look at a UV security feature and you try to do that with normal glass, the normal glass will block the UV and you won't be able to clearly visualize the UV security feature. With quartz glass, it allows the UV light to penetrate through the glass so we can visualize it. So this Q plate is 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. It's 6 millimeters thick and it has a weight to it to be able to push down the document. And this is backwardly compatible with any VSC apart from the QC1. Now, in addition to some of these accessories, there are also other larger pieces of optional equipment, such as microscopes, microspectrometers that we've already covered, and also 3D imaging. Now, in terms of microscopes, we offer a range of about 7 different microscopes currently. We offer 3 from Leica of different levels of complexity and magnification, and we also offer 3 from Nikon. In addition to that, we also offer our DVM, which you can see here, which offers unprecedented magnification levels up to over 13,000 times optical magnification. There is a really good microscopes brochure that we produce that actually gives you more details on the microscopes and will actually tell you what types, what levels of on-screen magnifications that you can achieve with the different microscopes and also with the different objectives. Because the level of magnification you achieve will depend on the objective that is used, and it will also depend on the screen size and resolution that you are using as well. There is also a much smaller PVM microscope that is more suited for use with the VSC 80 model that will give you a magnification, a handheld microscope that is used within, that can be used within the VSC or external to the VSC, but that is only used with the VSC 80 model, whereas the majority of other microscopes we offer are compatible with the VSC 80, VSC 800 and VSC 8000 and 8000 HS models. If you're unsure as to which microscope that may be applicable to use with your customer, please talk to your sales manager and he will be happy to discuss this further with you. Also, if you have an existing microscope, you may be able to reuse that with the more current VSC range simply by changing the camera that you use. So again, consult with your sales manager and he will be happy to provide you more information on this subject. If we look at calibration, there are 2 different devices that we offer, the VSC calibrator and also the color checker. Now, the color checker is actually something that is used on the PDI Plus model, and this is used to actually check the color calibration of the model. The PDI gives you unprecedented levels of color accuracy and high magnification to give you absolutely superb and realistic images. The VSC calibrator is used with the VSC 8000 normally, but it can also be used with the VSC 800 and VSC 80 if you have the optional spectrometer. Now, the VSC calibrator actually has 2 or 3 different parts to it. So first of all, we have the pyramid that you see here. That is actually used to check the 3 different wavelengths of UV, which are 254 nanometer, 312 nanometer and 265 nanometer. So when we illuminate with those, this will actually change color depending on the wavelength used. And then in addition to that, this is also used to check the operation of the anti-Stokes lights. So when you use the anti-Stokes function, that will illuminate correctly to show you that's working. There is then a special filter here, which is a diodidium filter, which is used for calibration of the microspectrometer. And then finally, on the underside of the calibrator, we have a white reference tile. So this white reference tile is used to calibrate the white color balance of the VSC itself, and it's important to keep that clean. Now, both the white tile that you see there and the diodidium filter also come with calibration certificates and periodically we would suggest that these are updated every few years to ensure that your calibration reference is up to date.